Good evening, all our members, those Elite Toastmaster members, and guests is around as well. So before we kickstart the meeting, we have some housekeeping rules that I would like to share with all of you. So at first, kindly rename yourself correctly by putting your name, then followed by bracket about your role. If let's say there is guest, then your name and the guest followed behind. Then please remain muted all times unless it is your time to speak. And the sessions will be recorded to share internally with members for improvement purpose. So if you do not wish to be part of the recording, so please do approach me to let me know about this. And we encourage all participants to turn on your videos to enjoy the full experience of our Toastmaster meeting. And last but not least, please prepare a glass of water or whatever drinks for the toasting ceremony later. With that, I'll hand the floor over to our Mr. President Hasno.
Welcome, everyone. I'm glad and grateful for being able to attend the meeting today, and I wish to thank Ashley for doing a great opening for our meeting. With him, asking for help is a sign of bravery. Thank you again for taking time out and being here today for our Elite Toastmaster meeting number 151. Fellow Toastmasters and members, since we don't have a guest for our today sessions, then I will be going to do a small intro or regarding on our meeting theme today. So can I have Kim Leong to help me? Can you, based on the today meeting theme, what is your understanding on asking for help is a sign of bravery?
From my understanding, I think that if we encounter any difficulties, we should always look for help, and also to seek for opinions and guide from the others. That's what I think.
Thank you, Kim Dong. Thank you. Correct. There's no right or wrong over here. As for my experience, it's okay to be a stupid person in a particular off room, because in my experience, couple of months ago, when there's a partner hand over to me their proposal, and when I read through their proposal, is so complex where I'm not able to understand their proposal and contents. And together with me, I have other people who are very experienced, from senior manager to the C level also. Then what I ask them again, series of questions for make myself understand what the contact is all about. In fact, in reality, the people who attended the same session with me also don't have any idea what the context is all about, which means it's okay to be stupid and it's not okay when you pretend to be smart. So that is the context of asking for help is a sign of bravery. So that's for my terminology. Now, let's move on to our guests. The spotlight to our guests, because we have a guest over here. Izza Iskandar. Hi, Izza.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, do you want to introduce yourself and where you find our club and what bring you to our meeting today?
Okay. Hi, my name is Iza Shahira. So I've been wanted to join Toastmaster for a long time, but I don't know what is the platform. But until recently. I just got a job here. I am actually orang kampung Sarawak, so I feel like this is the chance for me to improve my public speaking skills. And currently, I am a position in a company which is sales and application engineer. So I am more to sales, and of course, I need to improve my public speaking in so many ways. All right. So I get to know your Elite Toastmaster when I search in Facebook. So that's where I know about this club. And Suwan replied to my inquiry. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Eza. Thank you for joining to our meeting
right.
today. And I'm glad to have you today. And you can see for all our speaker for today, from our table topic to prepared speech, you will find how our members practice their communications and leaderships. Okay, so you are
Okay,
in the
thank
right
you.
place.
I
Okay,
am excited to learn.
yes, don't worry. We
Okay.
also over here is learning together.
All right.
Okay, thanks. So buckle up your seat, Eza. You're going to have a good, interesting journey for today. So now, without further ado, I would like to pass the control to our Toastmaster of the sorry, I would like to pass the control to our toast ceremony. Wai Sheng, the control is to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hasnu. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now living in an exciting time where opportunities are abundant. And just like the energy flowing in Toastmasters Yi, it is ever present. With a click of a mouse, with a touch of a button, we could access it. And with the proliferation of self-help information, sometimes we might get lost in the idea that we have the solutions for every problem. But what if we get stuck? Not stuck, but constipated kind of stuck. Do we ask for help? Or do we think that it's a sign of weakness? Maybe we should see it as a sign of strength. Because by asking for help, we are admitting that we have weaknesses. By asking for help, we are acknowledging that other people have strengths that we admire. And perhaps by leveraging on that, a new idea, a new perspective, heck, even a new life opens up to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to share a story with all of you about a self-help guru. And yes, even a self-help guru seeks for help. This guy, at the age of 17, he was a broke janitor. But after attending one of the talks by the late motivational speaker Jim Rohn, he was so inspired. What did he do? Instead of just admiring him from afar, he mustered up all his courage and approached Jim Rohn and asked to be his protege. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? The rest was history. And Tony Robbins became one of the best-selling self-help author of all times. Now, this made me think, if only this meeting team popped out much earlier before I attended Tony Robbins' seminar, things would have been much different. Now, jokes aside, I'd like to leave all of you with a quote. If I've seen further, it's because I was standing on the shoulders of giants. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us not fear for asking for help. And let us cheer by saying asking for help is a sign of strength. Seek for our giants, and perhaps we could see much further than we could ever have done before. Cheers.
Cheers.
Back to you, Toastmaster Hasnu.
Thank you, Wai Sheng. What an awesome toast that you given just now. And for the benefit of Eza, I would like to describe the background for Elite Toastmaster. The Elite Toastmaster Club was chartered on March 2014 with a club mission building articulate and vibrant leaders. The club providing a space, the club providing a safe and supporting environment, a place where members to practice and honing their communication and leadership skills. In return, members gain confidence in communications and building their leadership skills as well. So that's the Toastmaster programs. Okay, Eza. So without further ado, now let's move on to the next chapter for our meeting. I would like to pass the control to our Toastmaster of the evening, Min Yan. Min Yan, the control is to you.
Thank you, our President, Mr. Hasno. Good evening, dear guests and my fellow Toastmasters friends. So today has been a good day for me, and I hope it is also a good day for you. So noticing that today we have one guest who is Iza Iskandar. Hello, Iza Iskandar. So I've heard your
Yan.
introduction. I've heard your introductions of why are you joining Toastmasters meeting as a guest. I know that you are very much into training up your communication skill and also your leadership skill. Not to worry, Toastmasters is always a place for you to experience and practice. So take your chance today to have a look at how a Toastmaster meeting is run. Okay. So in relation to the meeting theme today, so I would like to I would like to talk about this author named Brené Brown. So this Brené Brown, he actually wrote the book Daring Greatly. Daring Greatly. Actually, the book describes about the vulnerability as being the core and the heart of human experiences. She writes that it is the birthplace of love, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable is often having the courage to ask for help, to be humble enough to admit when you are wrong, to admit that you are afraid, and overall to have someone you trust there for you. So Toastmasters International's core values are integrity, dedication to excellence, which is excellence, service to the member, which is service, and last but not least, respect for individual, which is respect. So as a Toastmasters, I believe all of us have the sincerity to learn from each other as well as dedicating to others. Hashtag we expect more. So just a brief introduction to ISA. A Toastmaster meeting usually consists of three parts. So the first part will be a table topic session, which is the session right after my speech. So this table topic session is actually an impromptu session. So we always encourage guests to take part in these sections so that you will have an opportunity to speak up like the other speakers. So it is a 2-minute speech. Then after that, we will come to the prepared speech session. So there will be 4 to 5 speakers, and in today's meetings, there will be 5 speakers. So each of them having a different allowable time. Okay, so the speakers actually prepared their speech in advance so that they will improve their public speaking skill in terms of in different aspects such as your vocal variety, your and also your body language, and the most importantly is the bring home value of your speech. Then the last part will be evaluation part. So these evaluation parts, we will have evaluators and also the technical role players to evaluate the prepared speech speakers as well as the table topic speakers so that they know what is their point, what are the points of improvements. Okay. Next, I would like to introduce the technical role players. So first of all, I would like to invite our grammarian. Who is our grammarian? Our grammarian is Vanessa Yap. to introduce your role. Over to you.
Hi, thank you, Toastmaster Minion. Fellow Toastmaster and guests, as grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any misuse of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. As grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is invigorate. The meaning of these words, invigorate, is to make someone feel fresher, healthier, and more energetic. Examples of usage of the words of the day, invigorates, would be attending Elite Toastmaster meeting is such an invigorating boost to my Thursday evening. Or Chenjun felt really invigorated after that long, restful weekend. Every speaker is encouraged to use the word of the day, and I'll give a word of the day reports and also grammatically usage report when called upon during the meetings. Back to you, Toastmaster Minion.
Thank you, Vanessa, for your introductions of the grammarian role. Next, I would like to invite our R counters, who is Hema. Over to you, Hema. Is Hema here? Okay, never mind. I think I will proceed to the timer first. Let's introduce
Mingyan
our
Hema
time.
is here. Mingyan Hema is here.
Hema is here. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. The stage is yours. I think you have muted yourself. We can't hear you.
I think Hema needs to change her mic settings.
Yeah. Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, fantastic.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm the R counter, so I'll be listening very carefully for the use of vocal pauses and crutch words such as you know. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase, such as I, or this means, this means. This is known as a double clutch. I will keep track of everyone and report at the end of the meeting on who best control their use of filler words. Good luck.
Thank you, Hema. Next, I would like to welcome our timer, Ashu. Ashu, the stage is yours.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, Toastmaster of the evening, Minyang, and guests. As timer, I will be timing all the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red background, which denote the specific times remaining. For example, the assignment speeches should have 5 to 7 minutes in length. So at 5 minutes, I will make my background green, just like this. At 6 minutes, I will turn my background amber, like this. And at 7 minutes, I will turn my background red, like this. Thank you everyone, and passing the control back to Toastmaster of the evening, Minya.
Thank you, Ashu. Lastly, I would like to invite our general evaluator, Diane, for introducing her role. Diane, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster Minion. My role as general evaluator for the evening is to evaluate all the people who will not be evaluated. So I'll be evaluating everybody but the speakers, and also on the general conduct of the overall meeting. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you for all the technical role players for contributing your work in today's meeting. So last but not least, I would also like to touch on our education program for Toastmasters. So for ISA, we have total 11 pathways, and each of the pathway actually can help you in growing different aspects in your public speaking and leadership skills. So to know more about this, so please contact our VPN, which is also our TTE Suwan today. To understand more about Toastmasters, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley is our founder. So we already have more than 364,000 members in 145 countries. So Toastmasters International was founded on October 22nd, 1924 at YMCA in Santa Ana, California. And here ends my speech. I would like to pass the control to the next session, which is the table topic session. Vera, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening, Ming Yan. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests. I'm your table topic master today. So the objective of table topic is to help members to develop their ability to organize their thought quickly and respond to an impromptu questions or topic. So a small tip for all the table topic speaker, okay? If, okay, you were chosen as a table topic speaker, don't panic. Don't need to worry about what others think or what their reaction. There's no right or wrong answer. Listen to the questions carefully, take a deep breath, and start sharing your thoughts. Good luck to you guys. And then, as I know that today we have our pre-volunteer for table topic, which is Ashu.
Hello, yes.
Hi. Yes,
I would actually request someone to take the role for me, timer role for just my speech.
Yeah.
Probably Ashley.
Yeah, I'll be helping on that.
Thank you.
It's gonna be fun. Okay, so from number 1 to number 8, choose a number.
Number 8.
You choose number 8. Okay. Would you rather see the world but live in poverty, or stay in one place and live rich? Let me repeat my questions. Would you rather see the world but live in poverty, or stay in one place and live rich?
Thank you. So would I rather see the world and stay in poverty, or would I like to stay at the same place and be rich? My preference would be to see around the world, and even if it means that I have to stay in poverty. So I'm going to share my own experience. So after my schooling, I joined a different industry, which is called merchant navy. I was a sailor, and I had this mindset of traveling around the world. Right from the beginning, I was curious to see entire world. So that is the reason I joined this industry. And as a sailor, I got the opportunity to roam around the world. Luckily, I could see 52 countries in my experience of 6 years in the previous industry. And although I did not have to be poor, I did not have to face poverty, but I would definitely choose a career that gives me opportunity to roam around the world. And even if I have to stay in poverty. Why? Because I feel that roaming around the world gives me broader perspective. I enjoy each of the moment when I'm at a new place, learn about the culture of the new location, as well as meet people from around the world. So that's why I believe for me, roaming around the world is more important than staying at the same location. Staying at the same location might be able to help me make more money, but I will not be as happy as by roaming around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashu. Thank you. Okay, the next one. Do I have any volunteer here? Maybe the guest? Would the guest like to give a try?
I think Kim Leong has got his hand up, Vera.
Sorry, I can't see. Kim
Leong, yeah.
Yeah.
He put his hand up.
Hi, Kim Leong. Okay, so from 1 to 7, please choose a number.
7.
7. Okay. If you can change one thing about the world, what would it be and why?
Okay, if I were able to change one thing in the world, I would like to change the environment, because as we know that now we are facing global warming, and then maybe we should use lesser vehicles, or maybe greener vehicles, such as electronic vehicles, or maybe share some transportation with our neighborhood. So if that's changed, maybe all of us will have a healthier and better life in this world. That's it.
Thank you, Kim Leong. Thank you. Okay. We still have time. Would the guests like to try, or do I have any volunteer? If there's no volunteer, I'm going to start picking up people. Wait, I think.
Okay, I can try.
Yeah, whoa, okay. Admire your.
Oh my God.
Okay. Hi, Ezra. Okay, so from number 1 to number 6, please pick a number.
Number 4.
Number 4. Okay. Would you rather never hear music again or lose the ability to read? Let me repeat myself. Would you rather never hear music again or lose the ability to read?
Lose the ability to read, because when you been able to read, you learn a lot of things and you explore more words that you never think before. Like, actually, I've started reading recently, so when I started reading, that's where I explore more explore more words or thoughts that I've never think before through reading. So recently this is the book that I have really changed the way I see things before, which is The Art of Letting God by Mizi Wahid. It's really, really interesting for those who are searching something that can really mend your soul. So this is the way that for you to clear your thoughts when you are commuting for a long way. So this is the way. This is a really good book for you to read. Yeah, that's my thought, and I really don't want to lose the ability to read. Yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you. Thank you, Ezra. I believe we have time for one more questions. Guys, the last volunteer, okay, let's try it out. Can I see anyone?
I'd like to try.
Yeah. Hi, Vanessa. Okay. Hi. Yeah, so it's a 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Please choose one number.
Number 3.
Number 3. Okay. Would you choose to live happily alone for 50 years or embrace the unknown together with friends and family for only 5 years? Let me repeat myself. Would you choose to live happily alone for 50 years or embrace the unknown together with friends and families for only 5 years?
Thank you, Vera, for your questions. 50 years versus 5 years. But that 5 years doesn't necessarily mean that I will only live for that 5 years, right? So I think I'll opt for the 5 years, living together with my family and friends, not knowing what's going to happen next in the future, because I think future is always full of unknowns events, and that's what's make it exciting. And no matter how much you prepare for the future's events, something's going to turn up and change the way you plan your routines. So I think that would be a better choice for me. So the reason why I would not choose to live alone for 50 years is that I think I will run out of ideas to entertain myself. Probably I can read out a couple of books, but I think that at a certain point of times, I will run out of ideas to play on my own. And yeah, I think having friends and families together with you, even though it may be for shorter periods, but it will ultimately be a wise choice that will make me feel fulfilled and satisfied. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Timer, do we still have time now or we are running out of time?
No, we don't have time for any additional speech.
Great. So it's back to you, Toastmaster of the evening, Ming Yen.
Wow, it is such a hard choice for me to choose. You know, choosing an option is also a sign of bravery. Whew. And if I were to choose between 50 years and 5 years, I would definitely choose 5 years because in these 5 years, I can spend the time with Toastmasters, Elite Toastmasters. So moving on, Ashley, can you please pull out the poll? Yeah, we will vote
Yes.
for the best table topic speaker.
Yep, already launched. We have 2 more person. It's not voted yet. Maybe we set a time, like 3 with the count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we end the poll. Okay.
Thank you, Ashley.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, I would like to invite our table topic evaluator, the Doraemon Suwan, for giving out his evaluations for the table topic speakers. Over to you, Suwan.
Thank you, Ming Yan. Thank you. Our Toastmaster of the evening today. Did Ming Yan did a very good job? Yes. Good. And again, thank you, Vera, again for such an interesting question and very difficult question, I would say. And I must applaud Ashu. I mean, Ashu has been attended a couple of meetings before, and he always be the volunteer for table topics. Be the first one. Yes, let's give him a round of applause. Yeah, good, Ashu. Yeah, okay. All right, Ashu, compared to your last meeting where you try table topics as well. So this time, I believe your whole table topic speech has more structure. So you have an opening where you answer the question, yes, I would like to travel the world, rather than being rich, staying in one place. And you're going into the detail of your personal experience. You inject some of your personal experience. Yep, I have been this place, and that experience cannot exchange with money. And that's very good technique as well to inject your own personal experience. And thirdly, you did close up your table topic speech with a conclusion. And that's important because you have to give everybody go back to the question again. Yes, I'm choosing that because of what? And I would think the other challenge for you is to go into the specific detail of your personal experience. Because when you give a very rough or general experience, I couldn't get into essence of your story. So perhaps you can share, okay, while I'm in Rome, I met some very interesting people, and I believe money can't buy that because of da 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 da. And if you go into emotion, what you see, what you hear, who has you connected to, I believe that will make the whole table topic more memorable. Good job and keep it up. Next, we have Kim Leong. Right, Kim Leong, let's give him a big round of applause, because I believe that is his first time or second time trying table topics. Kim Leong, I must say you have a very calm voice. You repeat the questions and you answer the question immediately, and you're trying to justify your answer. And that's a right way to start. Now, in terms of table topics, we have to think that it is actually a tennis ball that's throwing to you. So when a tennis ball throwing to you, you can find many ways to hit the tennis ball back to the opponent. Okay, you can try go high loop, you can whack and run in front. So think of the way to expand your table topics. Okay, so perhaps one thing I want to change about the world, you can spin it up. There's nothing I want to change about this world. The world is perfect. And try to tell people why you think the world is perfect. And try to try to find a topic that you are familiar with. Try to find a topic that you are passionate with. I believe that is one topic that you're passionate with, because table topic is monologue. It's just you talking, right? And how to make people more memorable, inject some emotion as well. And I would like to comment on the hand gesture, hand movement as well. I understand this virtual setup. If you can, just use your upper body, use your hand gesture to put some emotion rather to sound that monotone. Use your hand gesture, right? Next, Isa. Okay, I must applaud Isa as well. I think this is her first time joining our meeting and first time volunteer being a table topic speaker. That is very courageous of you. And yes, you choose the answer immediately. I don't want to lose the ability to read. And what I like about you is you have book immediately. Yep, I want to read this book because this book changed my life. And I would like to tell you why this book changed my life. And that is very good technique where you go into you have your book with you, you have your props with you. And I like how you use your hand gesture as well. That is very good technique. And I believe you are a very good speaker already, and keep it up. Yep. Oh, lastly, Vanessa, 5 years with friend or family or alone forever? And I like how you go into that. Oh my God. You kind of have like casual conversation with someone. Like, oh, 5 years, I don't think it's 5 years. And if I have 5 years, definitely I will enjoy time with my family. I like how you being very conversation with the audience. You're not thinking very hard, but just go with the flow. And I think that is your strength. And one thing that I would like to, again, my challenge to you is stop moving your leg, because we can see that you are exciting at the same time. I believe you can't control your body because, exciting 5 years with family. Yay. Yep. Okay. So just keep grounded, because we are seeing you moving your lower body. And again, hand gesture will help as well. Stay grounded, be passionate, but use hand gesture and also use a more emotional word in your speech. I believe that will make your speech very memorable. Yep. With that, thank you very much. I'm not sure about my time. Back to you, Mingyan, Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, our Doraemon. Suwan is indeed our elite Doraemon. You know, every time he is the TTE, he would be able to take out all his secret weapons to evaluate the speakers just immediately after their speech. Kudos to Suwan. Let's give him a round of applause or a reaction, please, everyone. Okay. Then I would like to pass the next session to Ashley for our group photo session.
Yes,
Ashley?
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you, Mr. TME Meng Yan. So everybody, now it's photo sessions time. So please on your video, please, and show your very handsome and beautiful face. All right, Vanessa, can you please on? Yi, are you? Oh, I think Yi can't on her video. Okay, Washing will be back. Jingman, not. I think she's not convenient. And Joanna, are you there? Vanessa. Oh, hi Yi. Okay, hi Yi. Just in time for the photo sessions. Vanessa, Joanna. Okay. All right. All right. Maybe we can just start. So with the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Just a moment now. Let me paste the photo first. Okay. One more. Okay. Put some whatever reactions. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, all eyes. Oh, okay, one more, please. Vanessa, Vance, your eyes is closed. Okay, okay. 1, 2, 3. Make sure your eyes open big. Okay, all right, great. Thank you, everyone. And I'll pass back to you, Mingyan, Mr. Tiani.
Yeah, I believe every one of you is hoping for a toilet break. How much time can we have for the toilet break timer?
1 minute.
1 minute. What if we make it 2 minutes? 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes is fine.
Yeah, so we meet up at 8:48.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Okay, hi guys. It's back to our second sessions of our meeting.
Trial version.
With that, I'll pass the sessions to our G for tonight, who is our Diane, who is our G. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Ashley. I'm not a G, I'm TME
sorry.
Minion. Thank you so much for introducing me for the second session. Okay, now we are at the prepare speech session. So we have in total 5 speakers. So our first speakers will be presenting her Pathway Project 1, Level 1 from the Effective Coaching Path, Icebreaker. So before I introduce Rachel, let's introduce her evaluator first. Christopher, the stage is yours to read out the purpose statement.
Thank you very much, Toastmasters of the evening. Yen. Rachel, before I move on, I would like to apologize to Rachel because the agenda has misspelled her name. Her name is supposed to be spelled as Rachael and not Heal. So kindly take note on the agenda. The purpose statement for Rachel's first speech in Toastmasters is Icebreaker. And the purpose statement for you, Rachel, is for you to have a feel, to introduce yourself to the club and learn the basic structure of public speech. Over to you, Rachel.
Over to me, TME. Yeah, because I need to give a time for a timer to actually demonstrate the timing indication. Timer, the stage is yours. Could you please demonstrate the timing indication for Rachel's speech?
Yes, for Rachel, the timing is 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and 6 minutes maximum. So at 4 minutes, I will turn the background green. At 5 minutes, I will turn the background amber. And at 6 minutes, I will turn the background red. And when it exceeds 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 30 seconds, I will turn my background to another one. Stop this background.
Sorry, just for timer there, for first timers, we don't overtime them. So just leave it at the red light, even if she goes over time.
Okay, all right.
Thanks, Ashu.
You're welcome. Over to you, the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ashu, for your brief introductions. So let us welcome Rachel Link. Vulnerability is a sign of bravery. Vulnerability is a sign of bravery. Rachel Link, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Toastmaster.
fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Today marks my first speech as a Toastmaster, the icebreaker. I spent hours thinking of fun and interesting things to share about myself, but at last I realized that it wouldn't really be a real icebreaker if I did not share my story, my why. It all started when I was 15 years old. Growing up, I had everything going for me. I was happy, I was carefree, and I lived life in the moment. And then puberty hit, and I started becoming conscious about myself, my body, and the way I looked. One thing led to the next, and what started out as an innocent way to change things that I didn't like about myself soon ended in a downward spiral of emotions, to the point where I would be so anxious around any kind of social situations involving food. My weight started to drop, and I soon began to suspect that I might have had an eating disorder, but no one took notice, not even the doctors and not even my parents. It was a few months before TMR. Sitting there, I really felt lost, lonely, afraid, confused, empty. The other voice in my head was telling me to starve myself, was getting stronger and stronger by the day. I could not concentrate, and all I could think of day and night was the numbers on food labels and the number that was on the scale. I hated myself, and I hated the way my thoughts took over my brain. The lines between my own thoughts and my disordered thoughts started to blur, and I felt that I was losing myself day by day, both physically and mentally. It was at this point that I knew that I needed help. I sought inpatient treatment due to the lack of personalized treatment available in Malaysia, and I stayed in a psychiatric ward for 3 whole weeks, meeting all kinds of mental health patients. It was a very scary experience, but also an enlightening one, as I never knew what mental illnesses could look like. With a strong will to get better, I managed to get my physical health back up, and within just 3 to 4 months. I thought I was fully recovered, but boy, was I wrong again. The next few years were what I would say a quasi-recovery. I was physically recovered, but mentally I was not. I was still counting calories. I was still finding every way to eat less. I was still massively anxious around food and still checking my body all the time. On the outside though, I managed to arrive pretty okay, having joined the cheerleading team, having a group of friends again, and managing to score straight A's in my SPM. In college, I decided that I would study psychology, driven by my stint in the psychiatric ward. I was really deeply interested in understanding the human brain better, and had an inkling hope that perhaps maybe one day I could help others who are also going through the same issue as I was. I was thankful to have gotten an offer from my dream school, UCL, University College London, to pursue my psychology degree, and I was seriously over the moon. London was the first time being away from home, and I had all the freedom. But relationship issues and trouble adjusting, and I soon realized I began to use food as an emotional crux. I began binging on enormous amounts of food, feeling guilty, and then restricting myself from food again. And this went on all throughout university. I never spoke much about this to my friends and my family, anything around my mental health struggles, because of the fear of creating unnecessary stress for people around me. And also for the fear of judgment from others. What would my friends say? Would they think any lesser of me? What if they say, you have been struggling for so long, get over it already? What if I couldn't deal with the criticisms and even worse, relapse back into my old ways? One day during the first year exam period, when the pressures were high, I decided that enough is enough. I opened up about my eating disorder on social media, and little did I know, messages and like truckloads of messages came flooding in. from friends, from strangers, girls, guys of all different ages and backgrounds, all telling me that they have been going through similar issues with their relationship with food and their bodies. That day on, I felt free and invigorated. I started to feel less lonely and more connected to those around me. Slowly, the negative thoughts started to disappear as well. It's been over 4 years actually since I found balance in life and put this behind me. Since I was 15, I've gone through bouts of depression, anorexia, emotional eating, and if it wasn't because of my vulnerability in sharing my story, I wouldn't have been able to help myself and help others feel less alone on their journeys. So here I am with you sharing my why, echoing our theme for today and reminding us that vulnerability, it's a mouthful, is a sign of bravery. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Rachel, for your encouraging and for your lovely background story. Yeah, indeed, vulnerability is a sign of bravery. So sharing your weakness to all of us is also a sign of bravery. That actually let us understand your background more, and we are one step closer to you. So the next speaker is Juliana Philip. She will be presenting her Pathway Project 1, Level 1 from the Effective Coaching Path, Icebreaker. So since she is presenting the same level with Rachel, so there's no need for her evaluators to read out the purpose statement. So let us welcome Juliana Philip. Listen to be more human. Listen to be more human. Juliana Philip. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Ming Yan, and good evening to my fellow Toastmasters. My icebreaker speech today is entitled Listening to be More Human. Have you ever been approached by strangers who share their personal life details or problems with you while you're waiting for your bus or train? What would you do if they do? Surely warning alarms would go off in your mind, right? Remembering your parents' advice, never talk to strangers, and you would likely walk away, right? Now, growing up, this was a very common occurrence to me. I would sit at a bus stand or train station minding my own thoughts when a complete stranger would warm up to me and talk to me about themselves. I would be weirded out, but to be safe, I would usually still keep a distance. I wouldn't say anything at all, but just be present and listen. They will share their own personal matters with me, and I'll just listen without prejudice. And once our ride arrives, we go on our own way. My earliest memory of this goes back to as young as 15 years of age. So with very limited life experiences back then, I did the only thing I could do, which was to listen. Fast forward to 20 years later, this active listening skill I picked up early on came in handy during the start of my career in sales and subsequently human resources. I also grew a very deep interest in understanding why certain people behave the way they do, and most importantly, what drives different humans' performance. So I pursued this interest professionally through a master's degree at Nottingham University, majoring in the subject of organizational psychology. All through my career, I was very involved in roles that required working with people and listening, such as coaching, be it in recruitment, performance management, or learning and development. Today, we are being swallowed up by a world of short forms and technology. With a lack of personal and human touch in most of our dealings with people, I believe we can be more present when we are communicating with someone, be it your colleague, friend, or even a family member. A simple gesture such as looking at the person in the eye when you're talking is being taken for granted today. How many of us are guilty of doing this? When someone is asking you a question or talking to you while having a meal, you're busy looking at your phone, supposedly also listening to the person talking away. I used to be guilty of this as well until I set a personal rule for myself. If someone needs to talk to me about something, I put away my phone, move away from my desk, and spend the time with the person to truly listen and understand what they want to say. By continuously practicing this, I have managed to create a very safe environment for my teams to approach me and open up. And one of the most encouraging compliments I've ever received in my career was I am the most humane human resources manager they have ever dealt with because I listen to them, give very practical and humanly solutions with their interests at heart and not just to fulfill my corporate role. Finding this balance of communication takes years of practice and experience. And to me, a good listening session always invigorates me like food for soul. While I was on an MRT ride in Singapore years ago, a very wise senior person started talking to me and randomly advised me to never allow gadgets to replace family time. She was married back then, but then I just listened as she shared how her grown-up kids have become addicted to screens due to too much gadget freedom since young. Now that I have a family of my own, I encourage active conversations during mealtime and more outdoor play compared to gadget and screen time. Listening is an art, and just like reading, it has to be cultivated from young. I suppose this is probably why people would open up to me 25 years ago, as mobile gadgets were not a norm back then. People are free to chat you up, and you actually pay them the attention they need. I truly hope to bring back such a culture today to cultivate the act of listening so we are more human and present to the people around us. Now that I've somewhat mastered the art of listening, I've decided to learn the art of speech presentation. So here I am among your midst today, presenting my inaugural icebreaker speech, listening to be more human. Thank you.
Wow, such an energetic speech. I really feel your energy, Juliana. And then I think you really suit Toastmaster because active listening is much needed in Toastmaster because later on you will be evaluated and this is what an evaluator needs. So our next speaker will be Van Small. So she will be completing her Pathway Project 1 Level 2 from the Presentation Mastery, Understanding Your Communication Style. So let us welcome her evaluator, DTM Cheng Chun, to read out the purpose statement. Over to you, Cheng Chun.
Thank you, Mingyan. So for Vance, finally I have the chance to evaluate you officially. So the purpose statement for your speech, understanding your communication style, is as follows. The purpose of the project is for you to learn about the different communication styles and identify your primary style. And the purpose of this speech is for you to share the impact of your style on others. Your speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Mingyan.
Thank you, Cheng Chun. Can I invite a timer for demonstrating the timing indication?
Sure.
Timer, the stage is yours, yes.
So 5 to 7 minutes is the time. At 5 minutes, I will turn my background green. At 6 minutes, I will turn my background amber. And at 7 minutes, I will turn my background red. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Ashu. So let us welcome Van Snor, self-awareness, Van Snor. Over to you, Vance.
Thank you, Mingyan. Do you know what is self-awareness? I'm asking again, do you know what is self-awareness? I believe most of us don't know what is self-awareness. And most of us have not much about self-awareness. It includes me. I have no self-awareness. I remember back then, I was a person have no self-awareness at all. I don't care about my hygiene. I don't care about my appearance. Basically, I don't care about myself at all. I have no self-love. I don't care my behavior. I don't care my attitude. And I am also a very ego person. I'm a super ego person in my personal life, in my family, in my work, and my friend. I always think I'm perfect. I always think I'm the right one. I'm being a little bit bossy back then. What's so good about self-awareness? Some of us will tell me I have no self-awareness, but I live comfortable in my daily life. Self-awareness is not important. Self-awareness is a very important thing. Self-awareness actually help you control your thought, control your mind, and control your action. And when they control your action, it control your behavior and your attitude. For an example, in Toastmaster public speaking, self-awareness is very important. Why I say self-awareness is very important? When I have self-awareness in my public speaking in Toastmaster, I tend to control my action. As I have awareness on my thought, I can control my mind, I can control my action, I can control my emotion, I can control my vocabulary. Basically, you're able to control yourself. So by doing this, I get more confident. Back then, when I deliver my speech, I always look for how can I look more confident when I deliver the speech. Until now, I realize self-awareness is the essential and is the key to make you look confident. Because you are confident, you doesn't need to look for confident because you are confident. So you doesn't need to look for confident. Confident will look for you. Self-awareness helps your consciousness more clear for your environment, your body, and your action. So by doing this, my mind was occupied with all the self-awareness thought in my mind. There's no negative thought able to enter my mind, all the fear, all the low self-esteem. Self-awareness helps me to overcome all the stage fear. How do I make myself more perfect in front of the audience? Other than that, self-awareness actually helps in working life and personal life. For example, how self-awareness help you in the working life is, for example, you having a meeting with your colleague or your boss, and when discussion comes to solving problem and issue, you tend to raise a lot of opinion, and sometimes you talk too much. You can see the emotion on their face. If you have awareness, you will know how to stop. So from here, I learned how to control myself in my work life. However, in my personal life, it helps me control my emotion. I'm the person, a very bad-tempered person. I get angry easily. If the angry thought come in my mind, I unable to control my action. I will go crazy. So self-awareness helps me to control my thought, my angry thought, and not to do all those angry action. And by doing this, it helped me build my self-awareness more and more and control my bad temper. By doing this, it helps you control your emotion. And by doing this, it helps you have a better communication and reduce all those misunderstandings in the relationship, no matter with your colleague or with your partner, or your family, or with your sibling. Other than that, self-awareness is a very important key and also essential key for any challenges that you're facing. If you are a person always think you are perfect, you're always right, let me tell you one thing, you have no self-awareness at all. You have no self-awareness at all. Because you need self-awareness to realize your weakness. And from there, you know how to improve your weakness. As our topic today, asking for help is a sign of bravery. Back then, I always thought asking for help is a shame thing. Until now, I joined Toastmaster. Asking for help is a sign of bravery. In the end of my speech, share me your awareness experience and comment in the chat. Share me your experience. And thank you. Back to you, Mingyan.
Vance, bravo on your speech. Can I know what is your communication style after you have done the survey, and how long have you joined Toastmasters?
I think I've been joining for almost 1 year since the MCO start.
Wow, 1 year. Then all of you could see the improvement that Vance has gotten throughout her 1 year Toastmaster journey. So her speech basically reflect on her Toastmaster journey. And what is your communication style?
I have no idea.
Never mind, it's okay. Never mind, it's okay. It's okay.
I'm still
never mind.
figuring out.
Yeah, it's good to know about our communication style. And bravo on your speech. Really kudos.
Thank you.
The next speaker will be Aruna Kartigayan. She will be presenting her Pathway Elective Project 1, Level 3 from the Presentation Mastery Path, Deliver Social Speeches. I would like to invite her evaluator, Duncan, for reading out her purpose statement. Duncan?
Thank you very much, Mingyan. Aruna, the purpose of this project is for you to practice delivering social speeches in front of club members. Good luck, Aruna, and back to you, Mingyan.
Thank you, Duncan. Can we have a timer to show
Thank you,
the
William.
time indication? Yes. Yeah.
So timing for Aruna is 3 to 4 minutes, which means at 3 minutes, I will turn my background green. At 3.5, I will turn my background amber, and at 4 minutes, red. Over to you, Minya.
Thank you, Ashu. So let us welcome Aruna Kartigayan, and Mama. I hope I read it out correctly. And Mama, Aruna Kartigayan. Over to you.
Thank you, Mingyan. Toastmaster Mingyan. My Amama. It translates to my grandmother. My Amama was my best friend and my confidant. My Amama was an amazing chef. Especially her most amazing dishes were traditional Sri Lankan cuisine, which we all loved. Growing up, we used to ask her what were her secret ingredients. She would always answer with a very simple and shy smile. They are simple ingredients and nothing so special. Finally, after years of pestering, we found out what her secret simple ingredients were. Can you guess? They were 2 spoons of faith, 3 spoons of forgiveness, 4 cups of love, and 1 barrel of laughter. Simple, yet straight from the heart. My Amama was born in 1931. She was unfortunate in a sense to grow up during the Japanese occupancy in Malaya at the time that we were at the crux of World War II. Therefore, her education was significantly interrupted. However, if you did not know this about her, you would have never been able to guess. My Amama had so much charm, charisma, wit, and she would be able to enthrall you with her amazing storytelling abilities. You would be surprised. Again, growing up, all my friends used to ask me this question. Aruna, your Tamil is horrendous. We know it. How on earth do you communicate with your grandmother? To which I, being totally innocent, used to reply, what are you talking about? My grandmother speaks perfect English. I never knew that that was not the norm in all other families. It's one of the reasons I'm very, very proud of her. My grandmother was not only traditional, but a little bit modern as well. A very good blend of both. She always encouraged me to spread my wings, spread them wide and fly high. She always encouraged me to reach my truest, highest potential. I am who I am today because of her constant encouragement. Amama, I am so proud of you for a myriad of things. However, I am most proud of you for this. I am most proud of the way you handled yourself in those last few years of your life when you were diagnosed with rectal cancer. You never complained, even though there were days that you could not eat, you could not sleep, and the pain became unbearable. You fought the good fight like the trooper that you truly were. Amama, I am so grateful that you have finally transitioned into the garden of bliss where you are happy, you are free, and you can live a painless existence. I will always carry you with me throughout my entire life's journey, in my heart, in my mind, in my thoughts, as that little voice of reason. Rest well, Amama, and know that I will always love you. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Minion.
Thank you, Aruna. This is such a touch story of your grandmother. So every one of us has a very great grandmother, and yeah, it is very sad to know that your grandmother has this disease, and I hope everything is fine for you and your family. So Aruna, please also provide us your grandmama's great recipe. I believe it will help all of us. So the next speaker will be our double crown and energizing bunny Yi Yi, because she is actually our double crown for club level, international, and evaluation speech, as well as the aerial, international, and evaluation speech. So today, she will be presenting or practicing or rehearsing her speech, her contest speech, which she will be competing on this Saturday. So I would like to.
It's actually tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Tomorrow is a Friday, not Saturday.
Tomorrow evening.
Oh, tomorrow evening. Okay, good luck to you, Yi. Do I need to invite your evaluator? Do you have any purpose statement? I guess not, right?
Noelle is my evaluator, but I already told her that what are the things that will need her help to look on. Yeah.
Okay, so let us welcome Yi Yi. Please insert your parking ticket. Please insert your parking ticket. Yi Yi, her very own contest speech. Over to you, Yi Yi.
Please insert your parking ticket. Please insert your parking ticket. Let's be honest, ever since MCO, don't you miss this voice? And behind this familiar voice, it contained a much profound message. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever tried to score A in your exam so that your parents and teacher would like you? Or uploading photo of your new cooking skill during MCO, your new watch, new gadget so that your friends can like you? Or watching the videos of all these glamorous guru on social media and started to ask yourself, how can I be like them? Mr. Contest Chair, fellow drivers, life is like driving on a road trip. In different stages of life, we drive from one destination, park our car, get validated, and move on to the next. When I was young, which I am still now, pretty much so, I was a fearless driver. I didn't feel the pain, I didn't feel the shame. But as I was traveling down the road for years, things started to change. I started to felt the need of being validated just like a parking ticket. The first ticket that I need to get validation from my first love. There he was, smart, independent, and mature. And I wanted to make sure I was the perfect girlfriend who deserved him. Baby, do you think I look pretty in this dress? Baby, I got an offer to lead a team. Do you think I should take it up? Baby, why are you not calling me? Baby, and I'm not good enough for you anymore? Eventually, he said, "You're not the confident girl when I first met." And he left. The second ticket that I need to get validation from, my path. I wish life can be as simple as there are only 10 paths. My mom chose medicines and I chose mass communication. But I wanted to prove to her that I'm gonna excel in whichever path that I pursue. So I studied real hard and took part in all the extracurricular activities. On my graduation day, I won the Best Role Model Award. I won the heart of my lecturer. I won the heart of my classmates and even their parents. But what I felt to win was my mother's heart. She sneered. "That is just for mass communication. What is that to be proud of, huh?" And that drives me to a deeper desire to get my third validation, my job. Yi, this document very urgent. Can you help me to settle first? Hey, Yi, can you help me to do this also? But I'm rushing for my work. Sure, I can do it for you. Sure. I work overtime. I work on all the weekend during the public holiday, and I never say never to my bosses and colleagues. I thought I gonna win their heart, but this is what I heard eventually. Hiya, she's in that position because she's the blue-eyed girl, ma. Why does this have to happen to me over and over? My first love, my path, and now my job. I was carefully inserting my parking ticket, but I get none of the validation. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, have you ever wanted to be recognized so badly, but was being rejected instead? What am I supposed to do? I was overtaken, I broke down, and I couldn't move forward anymore. Until one evening, Goo. By the way, Goo means auntie in Mandarin. Goo, come! Goo, look! I was rushing my work in the living room and my 3-year-old nephew was calling me. I turned my head and saw him arranging all his favorite toy car on the mini table. Goo, come! He was asking me to join, but I was busy at work. After a while, poof! All the toy car fell from the table and scattered around the floor. Yay! And he cheered happily. The next thing he did was collecting all his toy car, rearranging them and pushing off the table, cheer and repeat. He did that not because of me, not because of the others, but he did that because he truly enjoyed doing it. And that very moment reminded me of this. When I was young, I didn't have the fame, I didn't have the shame, and I didn't need to be validated to play games or do anything. So ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you do something even though you know you're going to look silly at the end? And how many times we didn't do the things that we wanted to do because we were so afraid how others were going to look at us? And how could we be happy if the validations is always in somebody's hands? So instead of chasing for all this external validation, why not start validating ourselves? So I pick myself up, top up my credit, and hit back to the road trip. My job, I support my team, but I set priorities and boundaries. My path, I continue to sharpen my skill after college. I shine on the stage and I savor every single moment. Now, my mom can proudly tell her friend that I am an event host. My love, I learned not to be perfect, but real for the next passenger, and I'm still searching for him. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are the external validation that you have been chasing in your life? Do you allow them to scan and validate your existence? Or you choose to top up your credit and take control of your own value? Please insert your parking ticket. Please insert your parking ticket. Next time you hear this playing on your mind, just tell yourself, I know my value, and walk off, because external validation is for parking ticket, not for you. Back to you.
Please insert my parking ticket. Please insert my parking ticket. Oh gosh, Yi, I love your facial expression. And please give me the money. Yi, you were probably at the wrong place. And now you are definitely at the right place, because connecting with positive people is very important. And we have your back for your tomorrow speech. All the best and kudos.
Thank you.
So, yes. Next, Ashley, can we launch the poll
Yes.
for the best assignment speaker?
Okay, sure.
Yes. Ashley, is the poll finished?
Yeah,
Done?
we still have 5 more people have not voted yet.
Probably on a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yes, we are done with our vote. So moving on, I would like to invite our general evaluator, Toastmaster Diane Law. And honestly, my heart is pumping fast now, because every one of us will be evaluated except herself. Let's welcome Diane. The stage is yours, Diane.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mingyan. And first and foremost, can I get everyone to please give him a round of applause? Yes, give a round of applause to our Toastmaster of the evening. If you don't want to, please give him a reaction all around. Let me see some happy faces, some hearts, or the little party things. Nothing sad, please, so that he does not feel that he has been taken for granted. But thank you so much, Mingyan, for stepping up for the role of Toastmaster of the evening. And first, to get us off started, is our first evaluator, which is Christopher, who will be evaluating Rachel's speech. Please welcome Christopher.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator Diane. Rachel, thank you so much for the wonderful sharing. First of all, I would like to applaud you for taking the biggest step in your Toastmasters life by doing your first speech in the icebreaker. Well, first of all, I would like to say is that you have a very good command of English, a very good command of language. Why I say so is because you use great choice of words. The words I've been listening from the first word that you utter until the last word in the summary. You did not really use a lot of jargons. There was no jargon detected. I don't have to search Wikipedia halfway your speech, which is good. That means I stay connected with your speech. Next is that your vocabulary is also very nicely used. It was very nice balance where I could understand your command of English and your choice of words, so much so that the sincerity came out truly from your heart. So I could feel that your delivery today is speaking right from your heart and not from your mind. So thank you so much for being so trustful to us and sharing with us your darkest secret in your life. The pace that you used was very balanced, was not too fast, was not too slow. It was just nice. I could hear word for word. And for the content-wise, I would say you're very brave of you to know who you are and how you want to help others. And it's very noble of you to know that you have this experience and you are taking up psychology so that you can actually help others as well. Very noble of you doing that. Now, the most important thing is that, I always say, for a problem to exist, first you must admit that the problem is there. If if not, your mind won't change a paradigm shift to look for the solution, and you did that. And your message today is very strong. It's not just self-introduction, but you throw a message which is you are not alone. Everyone else have the same journey. And when you share that on social media, you actually found that there are a lot of other people who went through the same journey, and you continue to become stronger by helping one another. And that is a very, very strong message. And honestly speaking, I'm so excited and very thrilled to really listen to more of your speeches. And this is your first speech. I wouldn't want to comment much about the gaps, but here are some of it that you can look at it so that you can focus on it in the next future speeches. The first one is your eye contact. Try to locate where your camera is, and my tips for you is to put some post-it pads with the points around the camera angle, so that at least when you read the points you have, at least you are looking at the camera, so that your eye contact maintains the awareness and engagement with the audience. Secondly is your content of your speech, your structural speech. I can sense that your opening, your content was there, your message was strong, and your summary could have been more reenact what your message is all about. So if you could end the speech with a beautiful sentence saying that after all this experience, I realized that I was not alone. There are other people who went through this journey with me, and I will take this journey and brave up myself to walk this journey for the future. And with Elite Club, I definitely can do it. So if you do something like this, it makes the message and summary a beautiful way of ending it, and people remember you. With this, all the best to you. Thank you very much. Back to you, Diane.
Thank you, Chris. Round of applause for Chris for his evaluation. And as always with Christopher, his evaluation is insightful, analytical, and everything that as a speaker, even as a listener, I'm taking away so many things that I could learn for my own next speech. So thank you so much for that, Chris. Just my little challenge to Chris is if he could just watch his gestures a little bit, because even when he's praising, I get a little bit afraid because I was watching him on speaker view, and when he started off praising, I actually was a little bit, is he praising, or does he actually want to provide me some instructions on what I can do next? So my challenge to Chris is to just maintain his smile, because towards the improvements where he provided a little bit of a smile and also his genuine insightful evaluation, that part really got me uplifted as well. So just keep up with that smile, Chris, and handle that with all your insightful evaluation. So thank you, Chris. Our next evaluator is Joanna, who will be evaluating the second speech. Please welcome Joanna.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you for the introduction. Okay, so here is my evaluation for Juliana. Okay, what an invigorating speech of yours, Juliana. Please give her another round of applause, everyone. And it's so because, as this is your first icebreaker speech, I would actually like to commend you on your overall strength as a speaker, your astounding confidence. Maybe it's because you're a HR person background, that's why. I didn't sense any nervousness or shakiness in your voice, and because of that, it naturally made you sound invigorating and definitely lifted up the energy of the entire meeting. I could also see how the audience actually are focusing on your every word, as I also observed, like clicking on gallery view just to see how is everyone paying attention, and they were actually hanging on to the words that you were saying. And this is part and puzzle of actually audience engagement. Now, if in terms of points of improvement, you may want to work on a bit of eye contact and emotion. As I understand, this could be your very first speech with Toastmasters, right? And that's why perhaps a lot of us are also focusing on notes besides us and looking at a person in the eye while talking. So that's also a part of sincerity as well. So for now, you would probably have to practice looking at the camera, and definitely you will get some better engagement with your audience overall. Okay, and I also realized there's a certain tone in your rhythm, and that affects overall sort of emotion in your audience, and even for yourself, if you realize after a while when you do more and more speech. Now, there's actually nothing wrong in there, but
just take note that for a story to inflict a certain emotion, you will also need to inject different sort of tonality. Because I realized in your tone, right, it was a certain rhythm of da 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 da. So it was in that style throughout. Yeah. So after a while, perhaps the audience may actually like drop off in terms of attention span. So yeah, for example, you can always learn to take a pause or speak louder when you mimic your parents about do not talk to strangers. You see the effect now, like how you actually emphasize on certain sentences, how you can actually take a pause to highlight on something. Yeah. So, and even when you take a pause, it actually also helps you to stop on crutch usage on all the crutch languages as well. Okay. Now, in terms of also, just to touch on a bit of structure, you start off with your speech nicely, but like in every story, there needs to be an opening, a body, and also a conclusion. So this will also naturally allow your audience to follow through and also take back the key message that you want your audience to take back in the speech. So in totality, I heard that, yes, listening to be human, but in terms of that, what exactly in that key message that we want your audience to take back? So that is something for you to work on as well. So to challenge yourself, right, Juliana, I would advise you to actually try practicing the above on the eye contact part and injecting a bit of emotions, and also do not be afraid to ask for help, as how our meeting team actually today suggests. And so in summary, you are a confident speaker for sure, and coupled together with good practice on eye contact in the camera, emotion and structure, I'm sure, Juliana, you will go places with your public speaking skills. And I look forward to your next invigorating speech. Back to you, Diane.
Thank you, Joanna, for that evaluation. And Joanna I love her energy today. It's almost like she had a few cups of coffee and she's like, let's get going. I'm going to tell you what you've done today. And that actually gets me. And when I was listening, I was just like, wow, okay. Yeah, where are we going with this? And so thank you, Joanna, for that. I do find that she gave some thoughts when it comes to evaluation. As an evaluator, she stated the what that the speaker did, and then she kind of explained the what a little bit. My challenge to Joanna is, yes, there is a what, like telling the speaker that they will need to look more at the camera, but perhaps the how. What are some tips that the speaker could do in order to make them look more at the camera, such as putting a post-it note near the camera, and perhaps when it comes to watching the pace for us, for the speaker, is to what can they do, how can they do it, perhaps to just take a deep breath, watch the timing, and just keep on taking a breath as they start speaking. So these are some of the aspects as an evaluator that I would like to challenge Joanna to provide to the speaker on how they can use certain aspects of what she has mentioned. She has mentioned the what, and I would like her to mention the how as well. And that is what the speaker could take away with. However, as always, Joanna is encouraging. She ended with an encouraging note. And as a listener as well, and if I were the speaker, I definitely would like to come back and speak again. So thank you for that, Joanna. Our next evaluator is Chen Shun. So please welcome Chen Shun to evaluate the third speech.
Thank you, Diane. Let me first begin by expressing that in today's speech, Vance, she's more moved, she's more natural in the way she expresses herself. Usually when you see her present, she will hide in one corner at the end, and then she will stutter here a little bit. And today I felt that she has gotten the next level of her in terms of her speaking capability. Another thing that I like about this speech is, if you really study how she crafted the speech, you can see that a lot of thoughts is being put in the process of crafting the speech. Let me give you guys some example. In the first part, when she began the speech, she asked a question: do you know what is self-awareness? And when you ask a question, the audience start to be curious. But she did not stop there. She repeated the question again. Do you know what is self-awareness? And then she go on to bring us towards her life journey. And she threw a lot of rapid fire of all her weaknesses that she had in the past. So that transition from the hook, the tease, and the transport to the story, I thought it was perfectly well executed. But she did not stop there. After she gave all her speech, right, the next part, I thought what she did well was she asked another question again. So what's so good about self-awareness? Again, resetting our attention that, okay, let's hear what she's going to say next. And then she move on to the benefit. So she told us a story, she hooked us again, and she told us the benefit. And it was just perfectly stringed in the beginning part of the story. The second thing I thought she did well is she gave a lot of benefit of self-awareness. And it's somewhat arranged in a sequence where with self-awareness, you gain the confidence, you get the clarity of mind. And then from the clarity of mind, you are more in control with what goes on your mind. And then because you control what goes on your mind, you also communicate better. So the whole flow of the benefit, it was really well strung. But I noticed towards the end of her speech, she began struggling. She began struggling because maybe it's an attempt to try to fill up the empty spaces, and she started to repeat certain points over and over again. So I thought perhaps it's something to do with the structure, right? If you have a very well thought, dedicated structure in your speech writing, then it's easier for you to compartmentalize what to share, which actually you have it already. It's just perhaps it was never put on pen and paper. So which is why towards the way you say something and then it has to lead to another thing and then you start speaking, then you slowly go. But on that basis, I thought the speech itself is a good speech. But everything we do in Toastmasters goes back to the intent of what this speech is about. And if you look into why Pathways was introduced in the first place, and a lot of research has been done, and you can see that in the Pathways, there's questionnaire where you have to do to get the understanding of your communication style. And then based on that, you then have to reflect, okay, what is my communication style and how does my communication style affect others? And that is the essence of this project, right? So you have the structure, you have the content, but what is missing is what is your communication style? If you can do that questionnaire and then build your speech around that, it could be on self-awareness, it could be on benefits, you even can use the hook that you have done in the early part of your speech. Use that, but the core focus is the communication style. So in conclusion, continue your positive growth, continue getting comfortable in giving great speeches, be creative, take risks, but always remember to go back to the speech purpose and use that to help you string your speech together. So thank you very much, Vance, for sharing this speech. And I hand back to you, Diane. Back to you.
Thank you, Chen Chun, for the evaluation. Woo! Thank you. And with Chen Chun, you're always up for some idea of when it comes to speech writing or some form of public speaking technicality with his thoughts and how he has, and clearly you can hear from the way that he speaks, it comes from experience. So thank you for that, Chen Chun. One of the things I especially like the way when Chen Chun evaluates is when it comes to what he has noticed and what he feels from what the speaker has spoken. And that's an important aspect of being an evaluator. It's a personal opinion, and that is what Chen Chun has shared today. My challenge to Chen Chun is just to watch his sentences, because there is a moment where he was praising a person and then he used but. So he said the way everything was great, but. So that is the part that sort of dismisses the first part of the sentence that he was going to say. Perhaps you just take a pause and then continue with what he wanted to add in to the next part of the evaluation. However, Chen Chun, as always, you enlighten us with your thoughts, and there is a reason why you have earned yourself the title of Grand Mentor for this club. So thank you for that, Chen Chun. And our next evaluator is Duncan, who will be evaluating the fourth speech. So please welcome Duncan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Diane. Aruna, there was such a beautiful analogy about your amama, and I have discovered 3 parts in your eulogy. So the first one is context, second one is content, and the third one is tonality. So for content, for the context, structure is extremely important in a eulogy. And what you did was you had a chronological order in your eulogy, and that guided us through your journey with your amama. It filled our imagination, and somehow it brought her to life in the minds of the audience. So that was fantastic. And the second one is content. In a eulogy, it's a very, very delicate balance, and the choices of words matter. So the choice of words that you used, for example, transition into the Garden of Bliss, I felt that was beautiful. It was well strung, it was smooth, and it felt easy on the ears. So especially the part where you talked about the story of the secret recipe as well, I felt that it was a wholesome speech and it was sincerely authentic. We could feel the connection that you had with your amama. And the third part is the tonality. The difficult part about a eulogy is that what are the tone, what is the feeling that you want to bring out? And you went for a friendly voice archetype, which had lots of melody, it was a relaxed body, that gave it a light-hearted tone. And that left me feeling very warm inside, which I loved. One gap that you could use to improve in your next speech, Aruna, is intentional and varied use of your facial expression. So because your facial expression, it brings your emotions to life. So when you're happy, when you show a happy expression, the words you say sounds happy. And when you are sad, when you show a sad expression, it sounded sad. And the funny thing is your audience will mirror the exact expression and emotion that you are facing right now with your face, because it's a visual cue for the audience to know what to feel. And that, Aruna, is how you move your audience, especially with the eulogy. So all in all, Aruna, you had a structured context, your content was wholesome, and you had melodious tonality. Aruna, finding the right words to say in a eulogy is incredibly difficult, but you nailed it. And to borrow the wisdom of Christopher Chong, he mentioned, you spoke right from the heart and not from your mind. Back to you, Diana.
Thank you, Duncan. Woo! Thank you. And Duncan, you have spoken from your mind, which comes from the bottom of your heart, and certainly with that melodious voice of yours as well. So thank you for that. My challenge to Duncan is, as an evaluator, is just to watch the way when he tells the speaker what the speaker has done. He has mentioned why and how it affects him as a listener. My challenge to Duncan in that is to actually ask what are the tips that he could also provide to the speaker. Understanding, yes, the words, perhaps what can Aruna do when preparing for her speech in order to capture those gestures. For myself, I like to actually take note of the words and practice when I get to that point of that word. So that's just one of the suggestions that I have for Duncan to give to the speaker the next time he becomes an evaluator. However, thank you, Duncan. You're, as always, pleasant. I feel like I'm in a podcast, and at the same time, I'm at an enlightening camp at the same time. So thank you for that. And now I'd like to welcome our fifth evaluator, Noel, who will be evaluating the fifth speech. Please welcome Noel.
Hey, Yi, I can't see your face. Oh, yeah, see, sorry now. All right, so you have texted me before your speech to ask me specifically to pay attention on the feelings of me being an audience and when do I actually being distracted, or is there any part of your content that is not clear. So this is the specific aspect that you actually asked me to pay attention during your speech. So here's my evaluations to you. You begin your speech by being the parking ticket machines. So my feeling, like the first glimpse of that is actually a little bit creepy. Because at that moment I thought that, oh, okay, he is probably is going to deliver some goofy story, right? Because you were just standing there, like, and then especially you're under the lights, and then there's a shadow and shades, you know, under your eyes, and yeah, there's a shadow there. So it's like, oh, okay. But then moving on, as the energizing bunny, you immediately lifted up the energies and bring us into the subject of your speech, you know, by asking the validations, ticket. So I think you have done a great job by hooking me in, being the parking machines, you know, by giving me that feeling of what is that? What is E is actually doing? And then immediately you actually lifted up the energy, because that has always been your talent, Yi. You're energizing bunny of Elite Toastmaster. And and then I would say that the overall speech, I actually very attracted and drawn into your speech, because today you're not just, you're beyond a speaker. You're more like an award-winning actress, I would say. Like, you have a lot of emotions, like quote from what Duncan say, what you actually show when you deliver your speech is actually a visual cue to the audience as well. But there is a point for of improvement. What I can suggest to you, there is a part that I remember you are trying to introduce the third aspect of your life, using the parking tickets, like your life, your ex-boyfriend. You're shifting from one side to another. So in that part, I find it a little bit distracted, because you shifted too fast, because you're actually standing up a little bit further from the screen. And there, I felt distracted, because it's like, you know, when you're shifting too fast in the screen, you kind of like shadow there. So at that moment, I was like, oh, okay, he is actually shifted a bit too fast. I lost track of what you were saying. So that is actually where I actually lost track. But then again, I find that you have very good body gestures, and then I especially can really, sorry, I heard that my headset is battery low. All right, I heard that you actually saying about, you know, the part when you say the baby to your boyfriend there, the last one, when you show that you are sad, I can feel you, because you do look really sad. So that's why I say you're not just a speaker tonight, you're an actress as well. And also, yeah, the overall, and also come back to the content of the speech. I would say your story somehow resonates me and remind me of someone that I know in life. So not me particularly, because I'm usually that kind of people who wouldn't really care about the other people's thought. But then somehow that your speech, you know, resonate me and make me think that, oh, is there someone, I remind me of a friend of mine that was actually like a Miss Yes. And after I heard your speech, and I come up with conclusions like, all right, perhaps, you know, next time we shouldn't take anyone for granted by giving extra credit and acknowledge to them for the value and the contribution they actually have give you. So this is actually, in summary, this is what your speech has resonated me to remind me of someone that I know. And I'm also enjoying your speech overall. So all in all, I do enjoy your speech, and I do wish you all the best for the contest tomorrow. Back to you, Diane.
Thank you, Noelle. Round of applause for Noelle for her evaluation. Thank you, Noelle. And certainly as an evaluator, the first thing that she did actually was to ask, what did the speaker want when she was delivering a speech? And what did she want her evaluator to look out for? And that is what Noelle has performed beautifully. She has mentioned on aspects that Yi has asked her to, and she has listened out for it, and she's provided her own opinions and her own thoughts. I like the way that Noelle shared how it made her feel at certain parts and which part did she actually enjoy. My challenge to Noelle is perhaps to just watch out in quoting too much of Yi's speech, because quoting too much of the speech does take up a lot of time. And I did notice halfway through, she actually was reaching the red light, and she was on the red for some time when she was sharing her personal story. And just a lighter note, I think Noelle is due for her speech, because there is a point of reflection that she was taking from another speech. So I think someone is well due to also share a story. Clearly, there is a little bit of a story there. So thank you for that, Noelle, and thank you for that evaluation. And next, we have our Voting for the best evaluators. Madam SA, can we launch the polls?
It is so difficult to choose today. We have got all the
Sorry.
world-class evaluator.
The poll, right? The title was best prepared speech, but this is this is evaluator. I saw it wrongly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone, please vote. Tell me
You only have
when more than
60%
half.
respondent.
Okay, 60%.
Only one
So
left.
that's more than half. Yeah.
Yeah. Only
5,
one have not
4,
voted.
3, 2, 1. Let's close the polls. Thank you. And let's move on. I now like to welcome our grammarian report, which is done by our grammarian of tonight, Vanessa. Woo!
Hi. Thank you, Toastmaster Diane. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure listening to your speech just tonight. And it is truly invigorating to hear some of the speakers who actually use the word of the day, invigorate. So I do find a few excellent use of English, and I would like to share some examples of the good use of English tonight. Downward spiral of emotions. Good blend of both. Reach truest highest potentials. Life is like driving on a road trip. Instead of chasing external validations, you should validate yourself first. External validations is for parking tickets and not for you. Speak from the heart and not from mind. Rapid fires of witness from the past. Delicate balance, easy to the ears, and melodious tonality. Meanwhile, I'm happy to see members who are eager to use the word of the day, invigorates, including Rachel and Joanna. And can everyone unmute, just say the word of the day, invigorate?
Vigorate.
Invigorate.
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 Okay, so I am really happy to see that fellow members are eager to use the word of the day, invigorates, and use more in your future speeches. And that's about it for my report for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa, for being the grammarian for tonight. And thank you for sharing your report. My challenge to Vanessa is to possibly just tell us why is it important that we learn a new word. So I think I've repeated this plenty of times. I'm going on a broken record. The reason why we learn a new word is so that we can increase our vocabulary. And by increasing our vocabulary, it helps with our neuroplasticity in our brain as well. So just sharing some benefits like this, just to remind us, why is it important that we learn new words? However, thank you for the in-detail report and sharing with us the phrases that you were listening to, and that indicates your listening skills. So thank you for that, Vanessa. Our next listening role is Hima, the R counter. Please welcome Hima.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Can you all hear me? I'm always checking if everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Can hear, yeah? Okay. I hope I had done justice to my task. Well, the so Ashley had one arm, Washing had one arm, Mingyan had about 6 and so. Vera had one and so twice. Rachel had 3 Christopher had 2 Juliana had one and one so. Joanna had 3 arm. Vance, oh sorry, Chen Chun had about 3 arms, 1 so and 1 butt. Duncan had 1 so. Yi had 1 ah. Noel had about 7 2 so. Hasnol had about 2 Ashutosh had about 4 or and 3 so's. Diane had 1 Tan Kim Leong had 1 and 1 so. Isa, the guest, had about 3 I'm not sure if I was supposed to evaluate the guest as well. And she had 2 double clutches, which is more, and this is. And finally, oh, sorry, 2 more. Vanessa had about 5 and 1 so, and Suan had about 9 and 1 double clutch, which was like, I couldn't. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Hima, for listening intently and giving us an in detail report. Give her a round of applause. Thank you for that, Hima. My challenge to Hima as the R counter, tell us why it's important for us to curb our filler words. The reason we minimize and curb our filler words is because it can affect our credibility as a speaker. Watch some of the politicians, the way that they deliver, and watch the way Barack Obama delivers a speech. Now, there is an example of what happens when you have filler words and what happens when you want to show credibility. So that's just an example. Remind us, why is it we have an R counter in the club as well? So thank you for that, Hima, and excellent listening skills as a leader. Great job. Thank you. And now I'd like to welcome our timer. It's none other than Ashu. Please welcome Ashu.
Thank you, Dan. Let me share my screen.
Ashu, I've checked the timer report.
Okay. All right. So what a great evening. I was so engrossed that at times I was missing out on turning my background green and amber on time. But overall, so many power performances. And I see most of the speeches were completed within time. So I don't want to spend too long going through each and every speech. But if you scroll down a little bit. Yeah, so only challenge I found was here, like the evaluators took a little bit higher than 3 minutes. Noel took significantly higher, but all others were well within time. So it's quite important for us to finish our speeches on time, as we know that we don't get sufficient time during our every speech session. And to make our speech more impactful, more engaging, we have to keep it short. So that's why it's important to finish our speeches in time. That's it. Thank you. Back to you, Diane.
Thank you, Ashu, for that lovely timers report. And I especially like the report. And as you can see, he was listening and he was changing the screen intently. And I could see that he was making sure that he got all the timings correctly as well throughout the meeting. Thank you so much for that, Ashu. One particular point as a explained, he went to the aspect that needed to be addressed and he explained why it needed to be addressed. And typically, when he made a statement, there is a because. And just that particular because indicates the importance of us keeping to time. He mentioned that it is important for us to keep to time because other people would like to speak. My challenge next to Ashu when next time doing as a timer report is to tell us overall, when someone goes over time, how does it affect the overall of the meeting? Or perhaps to take note of which session was in time and whether the meeting is going on time or overtime because of which particular section. Because as a leader, what is the overall parts that has affected the current situation right now? So that's my challenge to Ashu. And thank you for listening. Excellent leadership skills over there. Thank you, Ashu. And now I'd like to move on to the general evaluators report. So let's get started with Ashley. Thank you, Ashley, for stepping up as the Sergeant at Arms. And thank you for kicking us out earlier of the meeting because we did not start on time. So she decided to punish all of us and kick us all out. So thank you for that. I've never experienced that with a Sergeant at Arms. It actually made me a little bit scared. So thank you for that, Ashley. And after that, it was moved on immediately with Hasnul, and Hasnul checked around to see if there was the guest had arrived in our chat group, and he checked, and when the guest had not arrived, he decided to just create an impromptu conversation with one of the members, and I thought that was very engaging. That actually caught me, and I was captivated, and I started to actually listen a little bit more to what he had to say to our member. And then he redirected back. He noticed that the guest was in the room, and he asked the guest to introduce herself. So I thought that was beautifully done by Hasnul. Not just so much about delivering speeches and sending a message, but it's also about coordinating the session and making sure everyone is included. So well done on that, Hasnul, for leadership. Next, we had our toast, which is done by Washing, and Washing, the stories that he tells, the confidence and the pleasant demeanor, and the fact that he wants to come out here to share his message is always so inviting. And I thank Washing for that. The way that he got us started with his energy, with his facial gestures, with the eagerness of sharing his message. My challenge to Washing, as when delivering the toast, is to possibly just watch the guidance that he wanted to give us, because he said, please raise your glasses. And he kind of left his glass there towards the end of his speech. So I was wondering whether, should I leave my glass there or should I drink and put it down? Perhaps as a leader, let's just guide, no assumptions, no judgment, no expectations. Please just say, let us now begin the meeting by showing the action, because we're in a virtual setting, to put his glass down so that everyone will actually follow. Because as Duncan has mentioned, we tend to mirror what we see on screen. So that's just my challenge, Washing, when it comes to a Zoom setting. However, lovely message, and I will take that quote, and you are certainly looking further because you have stepped on many giants, Washing, so well done on your part. And we have our Toastmaster will be last. We had our Table Topics Master, Vera. Thank you, Vera, for stepping out as our Table Topic Master. I love the topic choices. I was really intrigued by that one question, never listen to music, or would you only read for the rest of your life? I would not be able to answer that question because those are both my favorite topics. So lovely topic choice for a Table Topic Master. My challenge to Vera is to possibly, when she was explaining about what table topics is, I would have loved for her to actually explain as well what the benefits is from a personal story that she has experienced herself, because I know that Vera has a lot of experience to share when it comes to the benefits of what she has learned from Toastmasters as well. So I would have loved to have learned that from Vera. However, one of the things I will say is I like the way that she also guided on how the session is going to be. And particularly, I like the way that she actually encouraged the members by saying, don't panic if I call you. And she said it in that calm voice, and she has that likability of her. So don't panic when I call you. And her session, everybody just wanted to put their hands up and go for it. So there was no pauses, awkward waiting moments in between, actually. It's a wonderful session in that sense. Thank you for that, Vera. And we had Suwan, who was encouraging. Suwan's always encouraging with his evaluations, and you can see him, oh, I'm ready to give you some encouraging, uplifting thoughts. And here he is. And when he's up there, he likes to share. And every part, everything that he said to every speaker, it was something that he enjoyed, what he would love to see, what he truly wants the speaker to get from. My challenge to Suan is perhaps to just watch out from the way that he evaluates the speakers on quoting too much of what they have done, but perhaps asking himself, am I going to evaluate them as a speaker, or am I going to evaluate them as a table topic speaker? Because once he starts to ask himself these questions, he will then realize there are certain aspects to watch out when you're evaluating a table topic speaker and when you're evaluating a speaker. And this comes with knowing which levels the speakers are at. If it's a first timer, evaluate them as a speaker. How was their eye contact? Something along those lines. However, thank you, Suan. I will say one thing I've noticed, the change in pace, your pace is certainly at a more, it's at a level that is not too energetic. It was just nice. And I could hear and I could understand everything that you're saying, even though you're all jolly all the way. Usually you get a bit too happy and get too excited, but this round, your pace was controlled. So well done on that. And last but not least, our Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you, Mingyan, once more for doing this Toastmaster of the evening. He was a wonderful host. He got us started. He told us a little bit about what it is all about, and told us what each session of the meeting is, and that's important as a host. My challenge to Mingyan when it comes to the agenda as a leader, there were some changes. Yes, I was informed of the changes. However, as a leader, when we're going to a meeting, especially an important meeting, any meeting, we must update changes that is happening throughout the meeting. Like one of the first things I would challenge Mingyan is, if knowing that actually there was a change in the table topic evaluator, please step up to that. And my next challenge to Mingyan as well is to watch out with his commentary, because when we provide commentary, it's about what we enjoyed about the speech, perhaps rather than trying to evaluate the speaker, because there was a moment in one of the speeches where he actually started to ask the speaker regarding their purpose statement of their speech. And that made a little bit of an awkward silence, and the flow I felt was a little bit affected. So that's my challenge to Mingyan. Look out for what you would like to listen to and provide a commentary on what you heard, as opposed to what you think should be part of the speech. So that is my challenge to Mingyan as a host. Other than that, thank you so much for guiding us, giving us everything, and making this a fruitful session. So thank you so much, Mingyan. And that concludes my role as General Evaluator. Back to you, Mingyan.
Thank you, Diane, our general evaluator, and our ever Mama Bear for sharing her thoughts on each and every evaluators and the technical role players. So let's not drag the time. I think now is the moment that we share the happiness and we reward the best speakers, evaluators, as well as the best table topic speakers. Actually, can you share the PowerPoint slides? Okay. Everyone, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself and give me some drum roll sound. Okay, the best table topic speaker is Ashu.
Yay!
Congratulations, Ashu.
Wow, handsome,
Do you want to
handsome.
give a vote?
Look at the smile.
Coming.
Where did you find this picture from?
$1 million smile. Minion is
social
your uncle.
media. Nice
From
one, nice one.
The potential of the next passenger of mine.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Do you want to share us Ashu, do you want to share us your thoughts? Like, what do you want to share with us?
Yes, definitely. So every time since the first meeting I joined, I try to take this opportunity of table topic, and every time I try to deliver and think on my feet. But this time I found a topic which was pretty relevant to my experience, and I was able to connect the dots and bring the story on right time. So yeah, thank you so much for encouragement so far. I in the beginning, in the first 2 meetings, I was a bit nervous. I'm still nervous, but I think that nervousness has reduced. And I think I'm learning a lot of new things. There is a consistent guidance provided by most of you. So thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Ashu, for sharing your thoughts. And you are indeed a great learner and a hardworking learner. So let's move
Thank
on
you.
to our next, let's move on to our next award, the best prepared speech speaker. Drum roll, please, everyone. The best prepared speaker is... Please insert your parking ticket. Please insert your parking ticket. Yay!
Yay!
Congratulations.
Yeah, got my
Well
ticket
done.
validated.
Em không ai tham được. Yeah.
Yee, please share your thoughts.
The photo mà chân yes.
Thank you guys for validating me. You know, it's not about getting validation, it's about looking for the right person, is it? But yeah, I really have to say that I've been getting a lot of positive energy from you guys, especially from the chat room. You know, that just show how supportive we are as a family, and I really like every single comments that you guys are leaving, not only to me but every single member. Like, we are really in a family where we are so happy to see each other growing. So yeah, thank you guys, love you.
Oh, you actually won in a row. So the luck is yours. So perhaps I should get some 4D numbers from you. And the
4D
luck is surely yours too tomorrow.
all right. Let me sleep
Okay.
over it and see if I have the ilham for the 4 numbers. Yeah, thank you guys.
Okay, our next award is the best evaluator. Drum roll, please. So our best evaluator is, of course, our Christopher Chong. Christopher, do you want to share your thoughts?
Oh, thank you so much for your faith in me, guys. Thanks for your votes. I'll do my best to continue to help members grow. So yes, I'll smile more. And yeah, I've been sitting from this same location without moving at all since 7 a.m. just now until now. So yeah, my whole body, everything is very stressed now. It is a stressful day. Anyway, I'll try to smile more, Diane. Thank you.
A new hashtag right now. New hashtag senyum lah.
Senyum lah. Okay. I believe it is a wonderful night for all of you, and this actually ends my session. I would like to pass
Mingyan,
to...
can we congratulate the 2 icebreakers actually? We had 2 icebreakers today. Yeah.
Yes.
We
Sorry
need to
for
give them a
missing
standing
it.
ovation.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's just give a standing ovation for both our icebreakers, who are Rachel Link and also Juliana Philip. A big round of applause.
Congratulations, Rachel. Congratulations, Juliana. Well done.
Congratulations. Woo!
Yeah.
Icebreakers. Woo!
Woo.
Juliana is like having a holiday somewhere on the beach, and Rachel is like in the Twilight movie.
Twilight movie, exactly.
Juliana, maybe you can share your thought first, then followed by Juliana. Rachel first, followed by Juliana.
My thoughts. Honestly, I was really scared about sharing my story because I've never really opened up this way. Really only to my close friends and family members. But I felt that, since we are in this for a long run, I really wanted to share my story with all of you guys because we are like family, right? So yeah, and I also thought when I read the theme for today's meeting, right, it immediately spoke to me. And I was telling Diane that, hey, like, I'm just going to use the title, copy, paste, and that would be my speech title. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for being so supportive. I'm really happy to be part of Elite Toastmasters and really looking forward to growing together with all of you and to getting to know everyone better.
after the MCO.
Woo!
Wow, Rachel. That's great. How about you, Juliana?
I feel more relaxed now after the speech. I was so concerned before the speech. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, read through because I was literally reading through. That's why I was, speaking in one tone. But now that it's over, I feel so much relief. Thanks for all the supportive looks that I was getting. Very encouraging to present it to you guys. I can imagine doing it in person. Everyone just looks at you and tries to encourage you. So it's very family-like. Environment gives you a bit of confidence as well to not be so kanchiong. So so thanks for being that supporting group behind there. I'm looking forward to my next one and to use the feedback better in the next speech.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel and Juliana. So I believe both of you have actually learned a lot from the evaluation just now and also from your speech just now. And hopefully you will give and hopefully you will challenge your point of improvement on your next speech.
Yes.
Yeah, that is all the purpose of being a Toastmaster. So I will end my speech now and I will pass the stage over to Hasno for his presidential speech. The stage is yours, Hasno.
Thank you. Thank you, Mian, for bring us from the beginning until to the end sessions. Thank you for conducting and control the stage very well. And for the next coming contest, let's support Yi on coming contest tomorrow evening. Details will be provided later in the WhatsApps. And what I learned in this session today, I've seen Jim Leong action in the table topic session is really amazed me. It's showing his confidence and comfortable in front of big audience. I look forward Jim Leong in your icebreaker speech. That's beautiful about the keep practice because practice becoming the person you truly want to be. And secondly, surrounded by the people you most want to be with whenever and whenever your location is. And let's move on the spotlight to our guest, Iza. Can you share your experience and what you feel throughout our meeting journey?
Hi, it is such a pleasure to be part of Elite Toastmaster tonight. I really feel like there's so much thing to improve in my public speaking skills. I thought that I'm okay, but when I went through the session tonight, I feel like there's so much thing I need to learn when it comes to public speaking. So it's really such a great session tonight, and I'm really excited to be part of Elite Toastmaster. Yeah. And one more thing is when I go through this session is I just know that we have to get the structure when we talk in public speaking, because sometimes when I talk, I just talk just like that without thinking. So this is like my something that I need to improve. So this is where I'm sorry that I use too much okay, this is where I need to improve, and yeah, I want to be part of Elite Master.
Okay, thank you, Eza, for your comments. And this is
Yes.
where the platform is, where it's allowed you to practice and learn all the communication and leadership skills as well. If you want to know the details about Elite Toastmasters Club and the Toastmaster program, feel free to keep in touch with our Vice President of Membership, so once. Okay. And before we close our meeting today, I would like to give a big congratulations to Rachel, Ling, and Jordana for making a one step to 1,000 journeys of 1,000 miles of journey. Yeah. And kudos to Anshu for doing the first time role play, taking the challenge, courage, and overcome your fear. And I would like to thank you to all members, escorts, and members who put all time and effort that everyone have put in this particular meeting. It's so amazing with all the energy that everybody have. And the success of Elite Toastmasters is when every member's proactive, positive, and treat others members well. All right. And to Eza, feel free to join again in our next Elite meeting. Okay. So let's keep in touch. And to all members, see you again in next meeting. Stay safe and good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.